Hello everyone, welcome back to the Drivers Room. We're in the Endurance Championship today. This is Season 2 of 2020, Round 4 Tier 2. We're at the Brands Hatch GP circuit racing in the Group 4 category today. And on pole today we have Mungino, starting on the Super Softs. He's third in the table at the moment, 29 points. 2 second place finishes in the last 2 rounds, puts him in a strong position going into Round 4 after a poor opening round by his standards. But on pole today, let's see how he gets on. And in second place we have Lionessi, starting on the softs, second in the table at the moment of 30 points, missed round 1, but did win round 2, and a podium last round leaves him 6 points off of the table going into round 4. And in third place we have Fangster, starting on the softs, 9th in the table at the moment, 11 points, 2 DNFs in rounds 1 and 2, but decent top 5 finish last round, kicks his season off properly. And in fourth place we have Lorcas, starting on the softs. He's our championship leader at the moment in Tier 2 on 36 points, third place in round 1 and a great win last round in the Group 1 VGTs, puts him top of the table for this returning Drivers Room driver looking to get back into T1 at the nearest opportunity. And in fifth place we have Drec, starting on the Super Softs, fourth in the table at the moment after a podium in round 1. Finished just outside the top 5 in the last 2 rounds. Needs a podium today to stay in contention for promotion this season. And in sixth place we have Jamie D, starting on the Super Softs, 15th in the table at the moment on 3 points. Hence using the Toyota GT86. It's one of the OP cars that the lower half of the table get an opportunity to use. Good quality today, obviously sticking it on 6th place, but needs to turn that 1 lap pace into race pace and get amongst the midfield battles a bit more regularly. And in 7th place we have Berkey, starting on the softs. He's 8th in the table at the moment on 15 points. Excuse me. Missed round 1, but a good result in round 2. 4th in the top 10 last round. Reasonably good position at halfway point of the season. Imagine he's looking to improve on the results he's had already. Start battling for top 5s at least. And in 8th place we have Jules, starting on the softs on the front, Super Softs on the back. 5th in the table at the moment on 23 points, steady points so far. 2 top 5 finishes leaves him 7 points off of the promotion places going into the halfway point of the season. And in 9th place we have V8 Vendetta, starting on the Super Softs. He's 9th in the table at the moment on 11 points. Missed round 2, finished in the top 10 last round, finds himself in the midfield today. As in Tier 1, the skill gap is very, very close in Tier 2 also. And in 10th place we have JC, starting on the softs. He's 14th for the table at the moment on 7 points after a good opening round. No points scored in rounds 2 and 3. After finishing just outside the top 10. Let's see if we can improve on that and move up the grid today, starting from 10th. And in 11th place today we have AGT Grimlock. He has softs on the front, Super Softs on the back. 7th in the table at the moment on 17 points after a stunning opening round win. Grim suffered 2 DNFs, so let's see if he can get back on track today. He's got a lot to do starting from 11th, but has the pace to move through the field. And in 12th place we have Craig. He's starting on the softs. He's 11th in the table at the moment on 10 points. Good opening round for Craig, and a top 10 in round 3 sees him firmly in the midfield fight going into the halfway point of the season. Again, got a lot to do starting from 12th today. And in 13th place we have Ricky, starting on the Super Softs. 15th in the table at the moment on 3 points, level with Jamie. Outside the top 10 for Ricky last round, level on points with Jamie, as I said, who's qualified a lot further up the field today. But plenty of places to be made up at Brands if you can keep it clean and keep it on the grey stuff. And at the back today we have Jason. He's starting on the softs, 12th in the table at the moment on 9 points, finished 10th last round. His worst result of the season after two pretty good opening rounds. Level on points with Merck, who isn't racing today, so has an opportunity to make up places in the table. But that is our grid walk for today. Let's get underway. Then on the grid of Brands Hatch GP circuit, round 4 Tier 2, the Drec Championship. On board with pole sitter Mungino. We'll just take a look back from this point of view, make sure everyone gets away cleanly. No false starts, pretty good, and it looks like Ferdek's had a really good start from what was 5th place there. It just starts pinballing in between Fangster and Lorcas, makes a bit of contact with Berkey as well. Further gets away with it, but Berkey's falling right back through the grid now. Just caused a chain reaction of events behind there, and nearly 3 abreast through Druids there. Jules, V8 and Berkey. JC's right behind this little battle as well, and nearly losing the back end there. Just about keeps on top of it, side by side with Craig, and that is Jason running a little bit wider than the Bugatti there. Just about recovers that. It's few incidents on the opening lap, nothing too major. We've got Mungino in 1st place, closely followed by Fangster. Lucas up into 3rd now. Lioness dropping from 2nd to 4th on the opening lap. Furlek recovering in 5th now, starting 5th, having moved up to 3rd briefly on that opening lap. As V8 runs a little bit wide there, that's going to give Berkey an opportunity to make another place up to 6th. So Berkey back up to speed now, so we can start closing the gap on Furlek up ahead. V8 in 7th. Under a lot of pressure from Jammy, who's also up to speed after that slow start for the Toyota. Very quick lap time on this car, but it's notoriously slow off the grid. Side by side with V8 there, and just about, I think he's lost a bit of momentum on the exit there, and that's V8 ahead. It looks like Jules might make a place up as well, going into Paddock Hill on lap 2. He's got the inside. Yep, Jamie just slotting back into 9th place now. You got Grimlock up into 10th, JC 11th, Craig in 12th, Ricky 13th, Jason in 14th. It's with Mungino now, still pulled a little bit of a gap to Fangster at this stage. He's got Lucas in a pretty comfortable 3rd, 4th and 5th still retaining positions. Oh, it's a wheel in the grass from Berkey there, he's completely spun it. And it's just on the other side of the barriers there. He's going to fall right to the back of the grid. That's a shame, just as he's getting back on the pace and looking like he was going to trouble the top 5. Little mistake there, falls right to the back. Got Grim in 10th now, so I think JC's made a place up on him. 9th with Jamie in 8th now as well. So all these guys making up a place. Top 5 retaining positions at the moment. Thanks for definitely staying in touching distance with Mungino at this stage of the race. So coming onto the Brabham straight, the end of lap 2. It looks like the top 4 have pulled a little bit of a gap to Furlek in 5th. Got some nice clean air to run in nevertheless. V8's pulled a bit of a gap to Jules. Bit of field spread here as you got 9th, so Grimlock back up to 9th. Oh, I think Craig's just made a little bit of unintentional contact with Ricky there in the braking zone of Paddock Hill Bend. Very difficult corner to get right. You see Craig just hanging back there to yield that place and give that back to, I think he is JC's having a nightmare somewhere in the background there, so I don't know what's happened to JC, but he's falling right off the back of the group there. So yeah, quite a few incidents happening further down the grid in the opening couple of laps. So Mungino retaining 1st place anyway. Thanks to Sin in 2nd. Both these guys seem to pull a bit of a gap back to Lucas in 3rd. Maintaining a gap to Lioness in 4th. So Furlek in 5th in clean air. V8 running well after that little bit of an off early on. Nothing too major, holding on to 6th at the moment. Jules holding on to 7th, Jamie in 8th, so Grim up to 9th now. Berkey back up to 10th after that mistake on lap 2. Jason in 11th. I think Jason's struggling in the Bugatti today around Brands. Ricky and Craig recovering, and I think we've just lost JC from the back. Rejoin the race towards the end of lap 5. Mungino still doing a good job out in front at the moment, keeping Fangster at bay, and it looks like you've got Lioness. He looks like he's closed that gap up a little bit on Lucas up ahead. So is that Lucas running a little bit wide there, so he's lost momentum. That's going to be Lioness moving up into 3rd place. There's a slight mistake there from Lucas, dropping back down to 4th now. Ferdek in 5th. And looks like he got Jammy up into 7th as well. Jammy's just got an overtake done on Jules at the end of that lap, moving himself up into 7th place. He's got Jules in 8th. Berkey in 9th now, 131.4, probably navigating grim on that last lap. That's 130.6, a couple of laps to go from Berkey, so he's definitely got the pace to start moving up the field. Long way to go in the race yet. Grimlock in the final top 10 spot. Jason in 11th, and Ricky and Craig 12 and 13, just recovering after a mistake from Craig earlier on. Anyway, Monkino still in 1st place, doing a really good job, as I say. Let's look at the lap delta on the right hand side there, very consistent the last 2 laps, 1,000th of a second between them. That's, looks like Fangs has closed the gap a little bit. Let's see if he starts going on the attack soon. See if he tries to put Monk under a bit of pressure. He just seems a little bit closer than he has been in this opening portion of the race. Anyway, Lioness is still in 3rd place. A little bit of a gap to Lucas. More tyre wear on the rears of Lioness's car. We'll see how that plays out as the race goes on. Ferdek in 5th in clean air, as is V8 in 6th. Jammy 131 flat from Jammy, 131.9 from V8 last lap. So Jammy's closing the gap on V8 up ahead. You see he's already pulled the gap to Jules in 8th place. 132.4 for Berkey last lap. So struggling for pace at this stage of the race. So Grimlock 10th, Jason 11th, Ricky 12th, and Craig on the outside there. Just keep an eye on that, make sure Craig was good on the brakes that time. So 13th at the moment. The guy's got a lot to do from the back now. Like Mungino's might have picked up the pace a little bit, as seems to have responded to that little bit of a charge from Fangster. So it's sort of lap time he does on this occasion. 1 minute 30.1. Yeah, so Mungino looking like he's opening taps a little bit just to weather the pressure. And that's V8 diving into the pits on the 10-minute mark. It's an early pit stop from V8 on the super soft. So Jammy moving up a place to 6th place now. Jules moving up to 7th. Berkey up into 8th. Just maybe, no, because that's V8 coming out of the pits already, or just about gets himself out in front of Berkey there. As it's all over the back of him going into Druids. V8 takes the inside and makes sure he gets the job done, retains that 8th position. So everyone ahead of him has to pit now, and they're on older tyres, so this could well play into his hands. Can find himself in a good track position in a couple of laps time. Just needs to keep it neat and tidy and make the most of that fresh rubber on the next couple of laps. Really good on the tyres. Lioness is still in 3rd. Hasn't dropped Lucas as much as I thought, and that is Ferdek really picking up the pace now as he's closed up the gap to 3rd and 4th ahead. I don't think it's necessarily those guys going slower. I think Ferdek has found another gear at this stage of the race. And we've got Jules, V8 and Berkey all running close together. So V8 on the fresh rubber now, really wants to get this move done as he takes the inside. That should be an easy enough move. You see Berkey trying to follow that slipstream through. Jules just hanging out to dry on the outside there, not a lot he can do. See Berkey just getting sucked along the slipstream there and makes a place up as well. All really neat and tidy on the brakes. So V8 up to 7th now, Berkey up to 8th. Jules losing a couple of places there on the straight. It's allowing Grimlock to close the gap. Nearly half a second quicker, or just over half a second quicker than Jules on that last lap. And the front left on Jules has completely gone. It's about 70% worn nearly. He'll do well to stay with the guys ahead at the moment. Definitely due a pit stop soon. He runs a little bit wide there, so that keeps the speed up anyway. And Ricky's closed the gap right up to Jason by the looks of it. So I don't know if Jason hasn't pitted, so whether he's made a mistake somewhere. And looks like Craig's made his first pit stop of the race as well, so a bit clean there, so we can put some good lap times in and start getting on the back of the tail end of the group up ahead. 1 minute 30 flat from Mungino with that tyre wear, so really dialed in at the moment, as he's just dropping Fangster now. Fangster starting to struggle with that front tyre wear. You've got Furdeck pitting from 5th place, and was that Jammy pitting as well. So V8 is clean through now on the fresh rubber. Berkey going again. Pretty good tyre wear this stage of the race though, to be fair. So he's back in just about the 1 minute 31s that last lap. So Jamie just coming out the pits there by the looks of it. Has he done enough to stay ahead of Jules? Yes, he has. So he stays in 8th. Berkey up to 7th. V8 up to 6th now, as V8 Furdeck rejoins the race in 5th place, having pitted from 5th. So Berkey, the only guy not on fresh rubber, as Jules not pitted again. Jules going round again. Must be really struggling with that front left, but going for the longer first stint anyway. As we're coming close to the 15-minute mark now. There's Craig making up a place at the back there from 13th to 12th. So they're making the most of that fresh rubber now. Get some good laps in, and as the race progresses, might well get the jump on some people. Mungino really stretching his legs out in first place now. As thanks to gone to pit, yeah, he does. As he goes into the pit with a second penalty there as well, so he's obviously struggling with track limits. It's Mungino comfortably going round again. 1 minute 30.4. Last lap, 1 minute 31.2, and that is Lionessi just getting out ahead of Fangster there. Fangster losing a place on his pit stop. So should be in a position to attack Lionessi straight. Oh, was that a bit of contact there? I'm not sure. He's obviously eager to get past if he wants to get some sort of undercut done on Mungino in front. But the way it's going at the moment, I think Mungino will be looking to stretch this first stint out to the 20-minute mark and turn this into a two-stopper. So Lionessi doing enough at the moment, just make these cars as wide as possible, sticks to the right hand side through Pilgrim's Drop, not relinquishing that second place at any time soon. They come through Hawthorns all neat and tidy. Fangster's going to have a lot more pace this stage of the race, but nothing you can do with it. It's a very difficult track to get a clean overtake done on. You just put your car in the right place around this track, it's very near impossible to overtake. You can see Lionessi just staying defensive again, coming up into the final left-hander, and Fangster's all over the back of him, but just can't do anything about it at this stage of the race. And we'll see if Lionessi comes into pit. And Mungino's gone round again, Lionessi goes round again. See if Fangster can get a move done at the end of the Brabham straight. And moves to the outside. Lionessi goes defensive again, and well, he's got the inside the Druids now, so this should be a pretty comfortable move. A little bit of contact on the way out there, but nothing sinister. Fangster back up into second place now. See what he can do lap time wise, and put the fight, try and take the fight to Mungino a little bit. Lucas in fourth place, still yet to stop. He's got Furdeck not that far behind now, so Furdeck looking like he's done a good enough job on his out lap, and he's opening flying lap there, 1 minute 30.3, and he's going quicker again. this could be Lucas losing track position to Ferdek on the next round of pit stops. A little bit of tyre wear kicking in for V8 now, as he was the first man to pit. Jamie looking good at 7th at the moment. He's got Berkey in 8th, still staying with the Toyota on the fresh rubber. Jules at 9th and having a battle with Grimlock. So Jules has pitted, Grimlock still hasn't pitted. So Jules has pitted, come out in the fresh rubber, and looks like he's re-overtaken Grimlock somewhere. So let's see what Jules can do from 9th on the fresh rubber. So you got Grim in 10th, has to pit. And Craig has moved himself up into 11th now. And Jason's come out on the racing mediums. See how that pans out. And Ricky's made his first stop as well, drops down to 13th place. And 18 minutes gone in the race so far. And we've got Berkey pitting from 8th place for his first pit stop of this race. Next man down the road is Jules. And that's Berkey coming out of the pits already. It's comfortably back out in 8th place there on the fresh rubber now. On the super softs, see if we can get some consistency in, start closing the gap up to the people in front. And Grimlock going round again, absolutely shredding those front tyres. So obviously really wants to get to that 20-minute mark and turn this into a 2-stopper. And it sounds like someone losing control there, but Craig coming around now, 33.3 from Craig, 34.3, 31.6 from Ricky. Ricky definitely got a lot of pace now. Is that Jason running wide there through Paddock Hill and having enough? just disappearing in the background there. But yeah, not having a lot of fun today at Brands. But this is Mungino's first pit of the race, and this is thanks to just coming through the Bremer Straight now. Mungino's just leaving the pits. You can see up ahead there, and I think he's done more than enough to stay out ahead. So looking in a very, very strong position now. He's managed to put some fuel on it there as well, and so better fuel, better tyres, and has track position over thanks to this stage of the race. Only 20 minutes gone, but in a very, very favourable position at the moment. Lioness in 3rd place, still going, yet to stop. Carrying pretty good speed, 131.8. And yes, so Ferdek looks like Lucas has pitted. Ferdek's made a place up on Lucas as he's made his pit stop. See what he can do from 5th now. Next man down the road is V8, who that tyre wear just kicking in a little bit now. You see Jamie D starting to close the gap up. So just rejoin on board with Jamie now, coming down Pilgrim's Drop in the slipstream in the Merc up ahead, but that Merc very good in the straight line, nothing he can do at the moment. 1 minute 29.9, a couple of laps ago from Jamie, so he's got a lot of pace this stage of the race. And V8 having pitted on the 10-minute mark, first man in this race to pit, just struggling a little bit with the tyres there. As you see the back end just stepping out a little bit, coming out of Hawthorns through Sheen, just about staying on track. Probably the most difficult section of track and Brands in my opinion. So Jamie putting him under also, and that is a wheel on the grass there from V8. The pressure paying off for Jamie there. Moves himself up into 6th, yeah, but just a small mistake there coming out of Sterling's wheel on the grass, and actually slammed the car into the opposite barrier. He's probably looking to pit anyway, because he did pit around the 10-minute mark. So yeah, he's jumping into the pits now. This should promote Jules up into 7th. It's a reasonably short pit stop time around Brands, I think, but this should be Jules up into 7th, and it is. And V8 rejoining in 8th. Berkey just starting his flying lap in 9th, and Grim behind also just starting his flying lap in 9th place. So Mungino first, thanks to in 2nd, as we've got Lionessi in 3rd. Just coming up to Sheen. That front left really going and just giving up. He's not getting the purchase anymore. Really, really long first stint from Lionessi. Imagine he'd be wanting a pit, and that's, oh, he's completely lost. That's a huge mistake there. You see Ferdek just flashing through. Luckily he stays ghosted. Furdeck fully committed to that. It's a huge mistake from Lionessi from third place. He had a really good first stint, really stretching it out. He's on course for a good couple of quick stints at the end of the race, but this will be Lionessi diving into the pits now. He's lost a huge amount of time there, and dropping down to 5th place at the moment. Jamie, the next man down the road, is just coming out the final bend there. I don't think he's close enough, as Lionessi probably won't take fuel on. He'll just stop for tyres. Yeah, just rejoining the race there in 5th place now. See what he can do. It's well on course for a very quick 2-stopper. It's a shame there was a shame he made that mistake, but see what he does now. Jules in 7th, V8 in 8th place now with a fresh rubber. Berkey in 9th. Berkey 1 minute 30.8 from Berkey on the last lap. V8 just on his first flying lap now. Check the times between these two. And we have lost Mungino from the lead. He's miles behind. He's had a huge incident somewhere. Let's take a look back. So start at lap 16 now. Just looks like he's extending that gap to Fangster a little bit again. Fangster started to look very racy. He was closing that gap up. They're going through Graham Hill into Surtees. And just a wheel on the grass. Oh, can't keep the car facing the right direction at all. But just about recovers that reasonably well, but loses a massive amount of time there. So have a quick look at the live timings, and he's fallen 4 seconds behind. So 1 or 2 second lead before that incident, now finds himself 4 seconds behind and on the back foot a little bit. A good consistent drive from Fangster this stage of the race, and just a mistake there from Mungino, throwing away 1st place. Got a really quick car and Furdeck behind as well now. Furdeck really starting to nail these lap times. He's made the most of mistakes up ahead. There's Lucas 1 minute 30.9. Similar lap times to Furdeck up ahead. Let's see how Lionessi gets on his first flying lap. Jamie D settling in sort of 1 minute 32s by the looks of it. And Jules immediately under pressure from V8. V8 on the softer compound, and that front left tyre starting to wear again for Jules. I think this will only be a matter of time. V8 puts a wheel on the grass again, coming through Sheen on the exit of Sheen there, but keeps it going. It looks like Berkey's really starting to close the gap up as well behind these two. Jules going round again. He's had a good exit there. I don't think V8's close enough, but we'll see. He's right in the slipstream now. See if he darts to the inside. Not quite close enough. Jules a little bit untidy through Paddock Hill. Hazards on there, so I think he's made a mistake and probably slowed up V8 a little bit there. He's just yielded that place. See if Berkey can make that place up too. Not yet. So V8 up to 7th place there. Jules in 8th, struggling on those tyres. Got Berkey on pretty fresh super softs behind as well, as he darts to the inside there to have a little look. And the door just got shut a little bit there. Just jump on board. And looks like Jules is just getting that slipstream from V8 up ahead. So he just can't do anything at the moment. He should be quick through Hawthorns. Nice and tidy. You can see the speed difference through the corners. He's just immediately closing the gap up. But again, like I say, Brands Hatch, a very difficult car, a very difficult track to get a clean pass done on. And Sheen claims another victim, just getting caught out in the dirty air there, I think, from Jules up ahead. And yeah, it's another big mistake there from Berkey. See what how close Grim is now as he's just coming through Sheen. And Berkey just recovering there. Front end damage to deal with for a little while, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll see what Grimlock can do in 10th place now. Yeah, two big mistakes there from Burke. He's got a lot of pace today, and again, just after setting his personal best lap, 1 minute 30 flat, just gets caught out a little bit behind Jules. So Fang's doing the lead of this race. Mungino in second place. I think that's Craig just about to get a lap there. He just dives out of the way. Mungino in second place now, looking to get back on Fang's tail. Immediately responds after his mistake with a 1 minute 28.7, the fastest lap of this race. So yeah, but he's fuming behind the wheel at the moment. We'll see what he can do, as we're not even at the halfway point of this race yet. 3 minutes to go until the halfway mark. So Ferdek looking pretty comfortable in third place now. Lucas in fourth, Lioness in fifth, 129.7, 129.6. Lioness very, very quick at this stage of the race. Around about a second quicker than Lucas up ahead, and better on tyres at this stage of the race, so he's recovering well after that big spin. Jamie still setting the consistent 1 minute 32s in sixth place. V8 in a bit of clean air now, having navigated Jules earlier. Jules still carrying on with that front left tyre wear, determined to get his money's worth out of these tyres. It's 1 minute 34.8 last lap for Jules, and we'll see what Berkey's doing behind. So imagine he'll start closing that gap on Jules again. 1 minute 31's nearly 3 seconds quicker. 1:32. Looks like Berkey's doing enough to fight off Charge of Grim, and that's Ricky possibly running wide, possibly just getting out of the way of the race leaders there. Mungino just giving him a couple of flashes, letting him know he's coming through, as he's on an absolute charge to get the lead of this race back. So thanks to crossing the line, 1 minute 30.5, another second taken out of him there. Mungino's absolutely flying this stage of the race. But this, as that's Ferdek pitting from third place, this should promote Lucas up a place, we'll see. 45% fuel for Ferdek. He's just leaving the pits now, so that is Lucas up into third place. Ferdek rejoining the race in fourth on the fresh rubber now. And 1 minute 30 flat. Still quick times from Lionessi is third, fourth and fifth. Third, fourth and fifth are really close together this stage of the race. Jamie in the pits. V8's coming round the last bend. I think Jamie should be safe. Yeah, comes out comfortably back in sixth place on the fresh super softs as well. See what sort of times he can get in. But I think he's definitely cementing that sixth place at this stage of the race. Jules finally pitting from eighth place. We'll see if Berkey can get the move done before he comes back out on track. But he already is back out on track, so no fuel there for Jules. Comes back out in eighth place. Berkey still in ninth, Grim in 10th, Ricky 11th, Craig in 12th. So just rejoining the race a little bit further up with V8. So come through Graham Hill, and looking like he's coming up towards the end of his stint again, and sticks a wheel on the grass through Surtees and absolutely loses it. Excuse me. And this is Jules in 8th place, next man down the road, and I don't think he's going to recover in time, as he just gets out of the way there, and Jules makes up a place to 7th. Twice now V8 coming towards the end of his stint has made an unforced error. The first one might have been down to Jamie putting a lot of pressure on. Yeah, that time around not so much. Must be kicking himself. He's had a good pace today. He's had a couple of big incidents, so this might spur Berkey on a little bit now, as he's seeing that lap delta, the delta drop up ahead. Ricky all over the back of Craig at the moment. Both these guys having pitted recently, still running close together on track. And Ricky's just going a little bit too hot there, but just about retaining position, as they've got, looks like third, fourth and fifth coming up behind them. Excuse me. So Lucas in third, right behind these two guys now, as just no one really knows where to go. So Lucas just about getting his way through the back markers there. Ferdek, the next man down the road, getting all the dirty air now. as so Craig gets well out of the way. So Ricky's got a lot of pace, but he's a lap down and finds himself in the middle of a battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment, but not actually being part of it. So Ricky not out of the way yet. Ferdek struggling to get past, so just pulls over to the right now. Should get so lets Ferdek through, and Lionessi just about getting caught out a little bit there, but just about getting through now as well. So 3rd, 4th and 5th continue their battle. Ferdek on the fresher tyres out of the 3, so yeah, in a better position at this stage of the race. So Craig has got ahead of Ricky while all that was going on as well. And in fact, it looks like Mungino has more than closed the gap to Fangster now, and is all over the back of him. So he's on an absolute charge after that mistake. Dropped over 4 seconds behind Fangster, and within a couple of laps is all over his gearbox and looking to get a move done. Really supreme tyre wear from Mungino as well, and yeah, that's thanks to diving into the pits on the 36-minute mark. So he's going to struggle to get to the end of the race without pitting again, I'd imagine. So Mungino back in 1st place, and yeah, looking in a strong position yet again. So thanks to taking on a lot of fuel there. I don't think Lucas isn't close enough. Can't find him. There he is. Thanks to rejoining the race in 2nd. So you got Lionessi pitting from 5th place. Jamie's a lot further back down the road, so rejoining the race in 5th as well. So Jamie just coming through the final bend there. Not quite close enough to trouble the top 5, but a solid drive from Jamie so far. So yeah, Ferdek should be the quicker out of these 2 guys at the moment. So see how well Lucas can position his car. I don't think the Alpha's notoriously good down the main straight, so he should be pretty safe down Pilgrims. Yeah, so Lucas doing enough to hold on to 3rd place at the moment. So just rejoining the race at the end of lap 27, just past the 40-minute mark now. I'd say Mungino will be due a pit stop as he dives into the pits there. So see if he's done enough to retain the lead from Fangster. He does have to put a bit of fuel on at this stint, at this pit stop. So we'll see what the gap's like. It's Fangster just coming past the pit exit now, and Mungino's still in the pits, so Fangster takes the lead of the race on the 41-minute mark. So Mungino down to 2nd place now, as you've got Ferdek making a place up into 3rd. I think Lucas is in the pits, yeah. So Ferdek in 3rd now, is in a battle with Lionessi for 4th. So goes defensive into Paddock Hill and retains 3rd place. But he's got I don't think he's going to be able to get to the end on those tyres, but we'll see. Lionessi, after that really good first stint, I'd say he probably will be looking to get to the end of the race, although he does look tight on fuel. He's got under a 1/4 tank of fuel there, Lionessi, so he might well be in trouble for fuel and have to pit anyway. Lucas rejoining the race in 5th place, just ahead of back marker of Ricky there. Comfortable 5th place for Lucas now. See what sort of lap times he can get in, and if he can get an undercut done on Ferdek and Lionessi up ahead. He should be good to the end of the race now. Jamie, he'll have to pit again by the looks of it in 6th place. Next man down the road is Jules. Might be good to the end of the race. Just keep an eye on that fuel level. And V8 in 8th place. Grimlock in 9th with, I think he's just had the race leaders pass him. Berkey in 10th place now. Ricky 11th, Craig in 12th. Craig critical in fuel there as well, just flashed up. But thanks to just about holding on to the lead of this race at the moment, I think he's going to have to have the drive of his life now if he's going to retain this win today. I'm getting a little bit unhappy there, getting run out on Druids, but didn't look too malicious. So Fang start doing enough at the moment. But I think when that tyre wear really starts kicking in, it's going to be a sitting duck, because Mangino has a lot of pace today. He's going to have to fresher up. A little bit more fuel on board for Fangster. Might have overfueled a bit, or it might well have been Mangino looking to underfuel and just get track position as soon as possible. He's around the outside of Hawthorns. It's a very dangerous place to be overtaken. Pulled off a really good move like that in the Sunday League in the BMWs, but just got nowhere to go at the moment. Thanks to position his car well enough to hold on to the lead of the race. They're coming through Sterling's, and Grimlock's just sitting in the slipstream of these two at the moment. No way past for Mangino at this stage of the race. He goes on the outside of Paddock Hill, but Thanks has a good exit there. Takes you inside into Druids again. Mangino a little bit of a cut back there, but just can't do enough at this stage of the race. Jamie D pitting from 6th place. I think he'll come out in a comfortable 6th place. Furdex still doing enough to hold off Lionessi at the moment. And Dorcas in 5th. Jamie rejoining the race in 6th. Next man down the road is Jules, who's just come out of Sterling, so he's safe from Jules. So yeah, very comfortable 6th place. 15 minutes left to go now. Jules in 7th. V8 in 8th. Grim in 9th. Berkey in 10th, looks like he's closed that gap to Grimlock quite a bit. 32.5 from Grim last lap, 2 seconds quicker on the last lap. Berkey, he's a little bit untidy through Sheens and getting caught out there earlier on in the race. He should be looking to move up to 9th at least, and big gap between 7th place Jules and 8th place V8 at the moment, and same between V8 and Grim. Anyway, we've got Furdeck, was that Lionessi pitting as well, 3rd and 4th place pitting, so we'll see what Lucas has done on his out laps, but 15% of fuel for both of those guys, so it's going to be a reasonably long pit stop, and Lucas might well get the jump done. But no, they're coming out the exit already. That's Furdeck up ahead, and that is Lionessi side by side, around the outside of Paddock Hill. That's a really brave move there, and Lionessi giving them enough space as he gets the job done, moves up into 4th place. Yeah, good couple of out laps there from Lucas. Got himself back in contention for the podium spot. Furdeck in a really good position now, just needs to keep it neat and tidy until the end, as he's got a good gap over Lucas, and he is on the softer compound. We just rejoin the action on board with Lionessi. Start lap 32. They're trying to put the pressure on Lucas up ahead, who runs really wide through Graham Hill. Keeps the speed up though. But he's going to have dirty tyres into Surtees. He sees picks up the marbles as well, runs really wide, loses a lot of momentum, and they're side by side. Bit of a drag race down Pilgrim's Drop, but Lionessi has the run on him, trying to find him in the mirrors there. There we go. Lionessi making up a place there. Lucas running a little bit wide, picking up onto the grass and picking up the marble round 30s and just losing a lot of time. Dropping back down to 5th place now, see if Lionessi can carry on and put any pressure on Furtick, who's just coming up behind the back marker of Grimlock at this stage of the race. See a reasonably short lap time here, so do see quite a few blue flags. So in the lead of this race you got Fangster still just doing enough to stay ahead of Mungino. Absolutely chomping at the bit to get past. Just 10 minutes of this race left to go now. Tyre wear kicking in on Fangster's car. Both of these cars good for fuel. It's just going to be the tyre management, I think. As I say, I think Fangster's got to have the drive of his life now to hold on to this 1st place. Nearly bumper to bumper through Hawthorns. He's got the inside of Sterling again. Runs Mungino round the outside, just about keeps the power down on the apex there. Still doing just enough to stay ahead. See if Mungino can get a good exit. He's right in the slipstream now. Let's go on board with Mung. If it lets us know, we've got this shot instead. But a side by side through Pilgrims, and that is the job done. Mungino back up into 1st place on the 50-minute mark. So I think it was only a matter of time. So gets the job done. Reclaims the lead of this race. See if Fangster can just stay in touch now. See if Mungino can just disappear down the road. A little bit of tyre wear kicking in for himself, but does carry it well. Was maintaining really good lap time. The tyre wear he had earlier on in the race. And quick run through the grid. We've got Mungino 1st, Fangster 2nd, Furtick in 3rd. He's got a good gap to Lionessi in 4th. Looks like he is actually closing that gap to Furtick, to be honest. So he might well be in the tow within a couple of laps. Lucas in 5th place, recovering after that little bit of a mistake through Graham Hill and Surtees. Jamie in 6th place, a comfortable 6th place, good race from Jamie. Jules in the pits, so he was critical on fuel. V8 just coming through the final bend now, and that's Jules just re-entering the track up ahead, so comfortably back out in 7th place. V8 in 8th, Berkey in 9th, good to the end of the race, and Grimlock in 10th, and then we've got Ricky a bit further back down the road in 11th, and further back still we have Craig. So just rejoin the race on board with Lionessi now. As I say, he's just starting to close that gap up to Furtick up ahead. He's right in the slipstream now, and just coming through up to Sheen, and it claims another victim. As you see, Furtick just putting a wheel on the grass there, hitting the barrier, just about recovering, so no damage there, but obviously loses that podium place to Lionessi with less than 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes of the race to go now. Furtick up into 3rd place, Lionessi up into 3rd place, and Furtick down to 4th. I think Lucas is close enough to make the move on Furtick, but we'll see. So quick run through the grid again, 5 minutes left to go. Mungino 1st place, good gap to Fangster now, really opened that gap up as tyre wear's proving too much for Fangster. Lionessi in 3rd after that unforced error from Furtick putting the wheel on the grass. 5th place Lucas. Jamie D in 6th, critical on fuel now though, so he might well need a splash and dash at the end of the race, but we'll see. Jules in 7th, V8 in 8th, Berkey 9th, Ricky 10th, Grimlock in 11th. So Ricky's made a place up on Grim somewhere. We've missed that. That's Grimlock down to 11th place now. 2-minute lap time somewhere. So whether that was... yeah, it must have been a huge mistake from Grimlock somewhere on lap 34, 2-minute lap. And Craig in 12th. So just rejoining the race, start at lap 40, Mungino's through for another lap, as it's Fang, Lioness in 3rd, Furdick 4th, and Lucas in 5th, all going round for another lap by the looks of it. And I think Jamie D's just having a bit of a battle there with the back marker of Craig. Jamie D will be our first official finisher in 6th place by the looks of it. So just rejoining the action on the hour mark. You've got Mungino, Fangster, Lionessi, Furdick, Lucas all going through to complete a lap, another lap. I think Jamie D just coming through Sterling's there. He's going to be our first official race finisher. Bit of field spread with the top 5 now. I don't think any positions will be changing. Just follow Jamie to the checkered flags. A good drive from Jamie in the Toyota. So making a bit of difference today, getting him some good points on the table, finishing in 6th place. Craig finishing a lap behind in 12th. Jules just come around the final bend there. Bring it home in 7th place. V8 in 8th. Unfortunate race for V8. Had a lot more pace than his 8th place suggests. As same as Berkey. Behind both of these guys. Fuck, missed the race finisher. So just rejoining the race past the hour mark now on the final lap for the lap leader. Mungino's got a sizable gap to Fangster in 2nd place behind. He's got an even bigger gap back to Lioness in 3rd place, who's done more than enough to hold on to that place after a mistake from Furdick. Must be kicking himself last 5 minutes of the race and binning it. And Lucas in 5th place. Jamie our first official finisher in 6th, with Jules in 7th. And that is Mungino crossing the line to take the win. Congratulations, good win. And a lot of pace today, not a lot of things he could do in 2nd, but you know, kept him honest for portions of the race. But yeah, Lionessi, good podium finish. After again he made a mistake early on, recovered well for the podium. Furdick brings it home in 4th, and Lucas in 5th. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next week.